Students across Metro Atlanta are back in the classroom following winter break. The return comes as health officials say right now we are in the middle of the most intense winter virus season in more than a decade.
Atlanta News First Niamani Watson is live outside Maryland Elementary in the Candler Park neighborhood. Niamani, what are school districts doing to help stop the spread of this virus?
The school districts say they are working closely with health officials to monitor, report, and manage respiratory illnesses and outbreaks, but they also encourage parents to take preventive measures. It's back to school for kids at Maryland Elementary following the holiday break. With flu cases on the rise, parents and school districts are taking extra precautions.
What I noticed was masks on kids. Not a lot, but a group with a couple of parents, and I was surprised to see that. Health officials project a severe flu season as hospitals are seeing more flu tests come back positive compared to this same time last year. At one point last month, the percentage of positive tests in Georgia increased from 27% to 81%. We asked parents if they were concerned about their children getting sick as they returned to the classrooms.
Always, but it's part of going to school, right? Part of being out in the world. It's just so many things running around, and you know, the weather being the way it's been, with the temperature up and down, you never know what's going to happen from one day to the next.
Along with working with health officials, school districts are also sharing flyers with employees and families on important guidance to help reduce the spread of respiratory illnesses. If your child becomes sick or starts showing symptoms like a fever, cough, sore throat, or runny nose, health officials recommend them staying home at least 24 hours after the fever has resolved. Nicholas Parsons says he's also teaching his kids how to protect themselves and others.
Cover up when you sneeze and wash your hands and drink plenty of fluids today. Drink plenty of water, yeah.
Health officials also recommend getting the flu vaccine. They say even if you still get the flu, the vaccine can help prevent severe illness or hospitalization. And health officials urge anyone 6 months and older to get that flu shot. Reporting in the Candler Park neighborhood, I'm Niamani Watson, Atlanta News First.